Hey guys, it's Ray. Welcome back to my channel. And today I am going to share my top tips for photographing artwork for Instagram. These tips will help you get your photographs from looking like this to this, or however you choose to design it. So first things first, let's talk about cameras. You're going to want to get a good quality camera. And if you can't afford a camera, a lot of smartphones have really great cameras, especially like the newer ones. I know they're up to 16 megapixel cameras, so don't be afraid to use your smartphone. The camera in itself will make a huge difference. So now I'm going to go ahead and show you a DSLR quality camera. And poof, just like that, you can see how much of a difference a good quality camera can make. So you're going to want to go ahead and get your artwork ready to be photographed, and how I usually start that is by cleaning it up. I try my best to make it look presentable. I know whenever I do a lot of pencil drawings, I get a lot of smudges, so I try to erase those. In this case, I'm tearing off that excess paper, and I always clean the area which I'm going to be photographing. So if there's like a smudge on the table, I'll clean it off. Besides the camera, lighting is the most important thing. So I'm going to show you bad lighting. First, I'm going to have a really bright light bulb that's going to add a lot of contrast to my artwork. Also notice how one side has like a really dark line from the shadow. And here is correct lighting. Notice it's even on both sides and does not add that textured look to my paper. It's super easy to create. All you need is two even light sources. So I have one on the left side and one on the right side. I know that sometimes I get a little rough with my paper and it'll crinkle up a little bit, and so by the time I photograph it, it'll be a little bit distorted because one side's sticking up and one's not. So a great solution is tape. And I like to use cheap tape because it doesn't stick as well, and that won't increase the chances of it ripping whenever you release it. So basically I just ball it up and tape the bottom of my paper to the table. So now that we've established how to present the artwork itself, I'm going to show you some examples on how not to photograph your artwork. So this image doesn't work because I have a lot of stuff in the background, and it's really distracting to whoever's trying to see your artwork because all they can see is the stuff in the background. So I know that shadows can be really tricky because sometimes you have to have the camera directly above the image, but try making the whole thing a shadow and that will actually make it even, and just take the picture in the shadow and brighten it later on Instagram. And lastly, we have the dreaded flash. Now this can really drain your colors and you can't really control the brightness, and it really just washes everything out. So if you can, try to use lighting that you can control. So something I've noticed on Instagram is that people really enjoy seeing objects in the photograph. This will give more of a sense of reality. The brain can compare the image to something that's a real life object. And plus, at this point, adding the extra objects will create a photograph rather than just your drawing or your painting. It'll be something more extra to look at. So the object I chose to put in will be my watercolor set. So I'm cleaning it up because I don't want to have a lot of really gray looking nasty gunk on there. And if I'm using pencils, I usually actually clean off my pencils so I don't have, graphite marks all over it. I like to add my tag physically in the picture. I think it just looks a little bit more clean and less clunky, but that's just my personal opinion. Sometimes I do add it digitally. So at this point I zoomed in to show that you don't need to have anything extra. This would be a great picture on its own, especially if you're new to photographing your artwork. Alright, let's talk about actually taking the pictures. So for demonstration purposes, I'm going to be using my handheld camera. These are great because they're basically automatic, and they're really great for people who can't afford a DSLR or might just not know how to use a camera yet. But today I'm feeling a little saucy, so I'm going to add a prop, and that is my little mouse. So after about a few minutes of struggling, I finally found the angle that I decided I wanted to shoot at. I could get a good image of the mouse, it's still nice and clean, and it doesn't distort the image. So at this point, I'm just going to be taking tons and tons of pictures until I find the perfect one. So here's just a little snapshot of the images. I like to take a ton because I want to have a lot of selection to choose the best of the best. And here I am editing the final photo. If you'd like a part 2 to this video to see how I edit my Instagram images, let me know, and I will share my secrets. In a nutshell, always color correct, always sharpen, and always turn up the brightness. That's pretty much what you need to know. Alright guys, we have come to an end on my art Instagram photography tips. If you have any questions, leave them down below. I'll be more than happy to answer. If you want to follow me on Instagram, feel free to. I'll leave all my links down below. And yeah, I'll see you next time.